Okay, we'll start from page number 21. Take out the page number 61. We have already started the chapter how Dr. Raman gets stuck when he saw Gopal, his one of his bestest friend, on his bed. He knew this thing that Gopal was not at all well, and his wife was not informed to him earlier. That's why he was a bit angry with them. So now at about 8 in the evening, the patient opened his eyes and stirred slightly in the bed. Now, 8 o'clock in the evening, he just opened his eyes and slightly in the bed means that is stirred slightly. Thoda sa aanखें खोल के he saw Dr. Raman over there. The assistant was overjoyed. As we know, the last pages that Dr. Raman bring his as one of his assistant and a nurse, and assistant was watching to Gopal. He overjoyed. he वो बहुत खुश हुआ ये देख के that Gopal has opened his eyes. He exclaimed enthusiastically, "Sir, he will pull through." Pull through means now he gonna alive. If he has already come to his consciousness, so might now he will alive. The doctor looked at him coldly and whispered, but the doctor means Raman. Dr. Raman knew the condition of Gopal and he knew this thing that this is not a exactly sign from where he can give the verdict that Gopal will alive or survive. I would give anything to see him through, but the heart. Now he said that the condition of his heart is very pathetic, so he cannot say that. The pulse rate has improved, sir. Now assistant is saying that his pulse rate are okay. Well, replied the doctor, don't trust it. It is the only a false flasher. Very common in these cases. He said that in these sort of cases, pulse rate are normal. Usually it happens that the pulse rate are normal, but the heartbeat is not normal, and the condition is still worse. He ruminated for a while and added, he ruminated, he thought deeply. Ruminated means thought deeply for a while and added, if the pulse rate will keep up till 8 in the morning, it will go for the next 40 years. But I doubt very much if we shall see anything for it for after 2 tonight. Now he's saying that if the pulse rate is remain same for the till morning 8 o'clock, then it's okay, then definitely Gopal will be survive for next coming 40 years. But he is having a doubt that if it is not possible, then hardly he will alive only for survive for the 2 more days. That's enough. He sent away the assistant and sat beside the patient. At about 11 o'clock, the patient opened his eyes and smiled at his friend. And then again, they were sitting just beside Gopal. And by 11 o'clock, patient means yahan Gopal hai. Gopal just opened his eyes and he saw Raman over there. He just smiled to his face. He showed a slight improvement. He was able to take a little food. Now he showed little bit improvement in that. So Raman allowed Gopal to have something. A great feeling of relief and joy went through the household. Usually what happened that if any sort of any patient is hospitalized and doctor ask him to have something, no, like khichdi dal ya chai biscuit, anything like that, automatically the attendants think about it that yes, the patient is going to be improved now he gonna survive. So this sort of thinking was there in Gopal's family also, and the same thing happened over here when Gopal had something. So they were very happy to see this thing and they just want to oblige to the doctor. They were giving gratitudes to the doctor. They swarmed around the doctor and poured out their gratitudes. He sat in his seat beside the bed, gazing sternly at the patient's face, hardly showing any sign of hearing what they were saying to him. Now what happened कि वो लोग तो बहुत ज़्यादा obliged थे. The family was very much obliged for that. But on the contrary, Dr. Raman knew the condition of Gopal, so he was least bothered about it that what the family members were saying, whether they are thankful to him, whether they are saying anything or not. Without turning his head to the doctor, the wife asked, is he now out of danger? Now, the wife, Gopal's wife, was a bit intelligent, might be. So she asked to the doctor whether he is out of danger or not. Without turning his head to the doctor said, give glucose and brandy every 40 minutes. A couple of spoons will do. Now, without giving any reply to the question asked by the wife, he said that every 40 minutes she has to give the glucose along with the brandy, with the alcohol. Sometimes this sort of alcohol is used for the treatment even. So when he has not given any reply to the wife get little bit restless. She just went away to kitchen and she felt restless. She felt she must know the truth, whatever it was. She was thinking that she should know about the condition of her own husband. Why was the great man so evasive? So she was just thinking that why he is not willing to tell the condition. The suspense was unbearable, and sometimes these sort of suspense is literally intolerable. And the same thing happened with Gopal's wife. Perhaps he could not speak so near the patient's bed. And now, what the conclusion? She just take it out. That might be just near the patient. It's not possible for the doctor sometimes to say the truth. So she beckoned. Isharo se bulana. Beckoned means isharo se bulana. So she beckoned to him from the kitchen doorway from the kitchen door only. She just give the ishara to Dr. Raman to call him. The doctor rose and went over. The doctor came over there, and then again she asked the same question to him. What about him now? How is he? Now she asked the same question, that what is the condition of Gopal? The doctor bit his lips and replied, looking at the floor, don't get excited unless you must know about it. Don't ask now. Now, what the doctor said, he don't get excited. Don't you ever think that he is having the food that is enough for his condition, that he is recovering or he is going to survive. So he just said, and now don't ask any sort of question regarding his health. Her eyes opened wide in terror. Now, when Gopal's wife came to know that her husband's condition is not so much good and might be he will not able to survive, she just feel terror, and she clasped her hands together and implored, tell me the truth. The doctor replied, I would rather not to talk to you now. She was started begging to the doctor that just tell me the condition, tell me the truth, what happened to Gopal and whether he gonna survive or not. So doctor replied that he will not say anything to her right now. He turned around, went back to his chair, and again he sat on his own chair near Gopal. A terrible wailing shot through the still house. The patient stared and looked about in bewilderment. Terrible wailing. Terrible wailing is a loud cry. A loud cry. The sound of a loud cry came from the kitchen. That is, Gopal's wife was started crying with a loud voice. And just because of that confusion, just because of that chaos, what happened? Gopal just opened his eyes. The doctor got up again, went over the kitchen door, drew it securely, and shut off the wailing. Now, when doctor just listened the sound of his cry, he stood up and just closed the door of the kitchen so that the voice will not come and disturb Gopal. When the doctor resumed his seat, the patient asked in the finest whisper possible, is that someone crying? Now what happened? When he came back to his place, now because of that loud cry, Gopal already opened his eyes, and he just asked to the doctor that is anybody is crying in the home. Doctor said, don't get excited and you need not to talk. You don't take any sort of exertion. You need not to take any sort of tension. And whatever is there, it's okay. The patient asked, and am I going? Now he already gets some sort of idea. So he is asking to Dr. Raman that whether he gonna survive or not. Am I going? That means, am I going to die? Don't hide it from me. He said that please just tell me the truth. Don't hide it to me. मुझसे कुछ भी मत छुपाओ. Cause he has having a strong reason for it. The doctor made a deprecating. Deprecating means uh, expressing disapproval. He's not saying anything from with the words. उसने कुछ कहा नहीं, लेकिन हाँ कहीं ना कहीं he just show the feeling or show the expression that it's not like that he's going to die. And noise and sat back into his chair. He had never faced a situation like this. It was not in his nature to whitewash. As in the first pages only, when the Dr. Raman was introduced in the chapter, we know this thing, that Dr. Raman never lied to the attendant. Whatever the condition is facing by the patient, he said to the attendants. So here the whitewash means उसने उसका whitewash ही means यहाँ पर झूठ ना बोलना उसकी आदत में नहीं था. He is not in the habit of saying anything lie to the attendant or the patient. People attach great value to his word because of that, and people attached great value. और इसीलिए there is a value of his own words. हर words की एक value थी. He stole a look at the other. The patient motioned a finger to draw him nearer and whispered. Now Gopal condition was not so much good, so by his finger only he again called the doctor and say the same thing. I must know how long I am going to last. I must sign the will. It is all ready. Ask my wife for the dispatch box. You must sign as a witness. Now he said that he just want to know whether he is going to survive or not. Reason being that he has to put his initials into the will, what he has already made it, and his wife knew about it. So he said, if I'm not survive no longer, so it is better you just call his wife, and she gonna bring the will, and as a witness Dr. Raman will also put his initials. Oh, the doctor exclaimed, you are exerting yourself too much. You must be quieter. Now, doctor is saying, ki, why you are taking so much exertion? Why you are thinking a lot for it? It is better to keep your mouth shut. He felt idiotic to be repeating it. How fine it would be, he reflected. Now, Jo Gopal tha, he is saying this thing that is it very easy to be very quieter? He said that he reflected to drop the whole business and run away somewhere without answering anybody's question. He said it's not so much easy for Gopal to just come up from his business and just go where nobody knows about it. The patient clutched the doctor's wrist with his weak fingers and said, Ramu, it is my good fortune that you are here at this moment. He said that it is a very good, and it is good luck only that Ramu, that is Dr. Raman, is present over there. I can trust your word. I cannot leave my property unsettled. He said that whatever I earned, I cannot leave it just like that. That will mean endless misery for my wife and children. He said whatever he earned just because of his own family, and after his death, if they cannot avail the property earned by Gopal, then all will become worthless. You know all about Shubi and his gang. He said that he just mentioned over here one of the person named Shubi and his gang. उसने कहा कि Shubi और gang उसके gang के लोगों के लिए, hey, you know that how they are always keep an eye on my property. Yes, presently replied the doctor. तो उसने कहा कि हाँ मुझे पता है. He walked off to his car, sat in a back seat, and reflected. Now he just leave Gopal over there, and he opened his car and sat over there and thinking about it. He looked to his watch. He was just see the time, midnight. If he will was to be signed, if the will was to be signed, it must be done within the next 2 hours or never. Now he knew the condition of Gopal, and he was just thinking कि अगर उसे will sign करनी है तो coming 2 hours में, अभी 2 घंटे के अंदर अंदर करना पड़ेगा, else there may be the chances that Gopal is not going to be survive. Right, he could not be the responsible for this mess there, and how could he will not able to forgive himself even, वो अपने आप को भी माफ नहीं कर पाएगा if this sort of mess is going to be happen. He knew too well the family affairs and about those wolves, Shubi and his gang. Now he knew about Shubi and his gang that they are having an eye on the property of Gopal, and if by the chance Gopal died without signing, without putting initials into the will, definitely his wife and the children has to be suffer a lot. But what could he do? If he asked him to sign the will, it would virtually mean a death sentence and destroy the thousandth part of a chance that the patient had to be survival. Now he is thinking कि अगर वो ये कह देता है that yes you it is better to sign the will, that means somehow indirect way में he is saying this only, that Gopal is no longer survive. और अगर वो नहीं करवाता है, झूठ बोल देता है, then what will happen that if by the chance, अगर एक by the chance for कि गोपाल अगर मर जाता है, if Gopal died, then the family has to be survive, and he knew this thing that अगर 1% भी चांस है उसके बचने का, तो he just don't want to do that. He got down from the car and went in. He resumed his seat in the chair. Now he just again went into the room and just have his seat. The patient was staring at him appealingly. The patient means Gopal. Gopal was just looking at him. The doctor said to himself, if my word can save his life, he shall not die. नाउ ही इज सेइंग टू जो डॉक्टर है वो अपने आप में ही सोच रहा है ऐसा कि अगर मेरे कोई भी वर्ड से, इफ माय वर्ड्स कैन सेव हिज लाइफ, अगर मेरे कोई भी वर्ड से गोपाल बच जाता है तो मैं उसको बचने ही दूंगा, मैं उसे मरने नहीं दूंगा. द विल बी डैम्ड, और ही गिव्स अ डैम टू द विल, वो बिल्कुल भी विल के बारे में नहीं सोचना चाहता. सो ही कॉल्ड गोपाल एंड ही सेड, listen, this was the first time he was going to do a piece of acting before a patient simulating a feeling. Now, this is the first time ever when Dr. Raman is going to lie to his patient, and he was just acted with very confidently. He said, he stopped over the patient and said with a deliberate emphasis, don't worry about the will now. You are not going to die. Your heart is absolutely sound. He said that don't worry about it. Your condition is very good and you want to survive. So afterwards only you can easily sign your will. Now coming to the next page, 63. A new glow subs the patient's face. Subs means feeling of happiness. Definitely, he सबको पता था कि how Dr. Raman is. His words are the verdict of the patient. So somewhere Gopal understood that if Dr. Raman is saying that he will alive, it gave a confidence to Gopal, and he was having a very good feeling. In that now he will survive and no more to worry about it. He asked in a tone of relief, do you say so? If it comes from your lips, it must be true. Now that is why he said this thing कि अगर तुम कह रहे हो तो definitely I'll going to survive. And he is having a very good confidence for it. The doctor said, quite right. You are improving every second. Sleep in peace. Now he said, yes, of course I am saying this thing, and you are improving also. Your condition is improving with every second. So it is better now to have a sleep. You must not exert yourself on any account. तुम किसी भी तरह से exertion नहीं लो. You must sleep very soundly. I will see you in the morning. The patient looked at him gratefully for a moment and then closed his eyes. The doctor picked up his bag and went out, shutting the door softly behind him. Now, as he was very much rest assured, he means यहाँ पे Gopal. Gopal was very much rest assured that he is going to survive for a long period of time. So he had a sleep. He just closed his eye, and once he closed his eyes, Dr. Raman come out from the room. On his way home, he stopped for a moment at his hospital, called out to his assistant, and said, "That Loudly extension case, you may expect the collapse, and any second now. Go there with an injection and give it in case a struggle is too hard at the end. Hurry up." Now he just come out from the home and left for his own home. But when he was going to his residence, when he is going to his home, he just called up the assistant. उसने कहा assistant को call किया, and he said that you know that Lowly extension वाला जो case है वहाँ पर जाओ, and if you feel so that the condition of the patient get a little bit bad, so give the injections, and it is better to go and see the patient. Next morning, he was back at Lowly Extension at 10. So now the night covered, and in the next morning, only by 10 o'clock, he came back to Gopal's house. From his car, he made a dash for a sick bed. The patient was awake and looked very well. The assistant reported satisfactory pulse. The doctor put his tube at his heart, listened for a while, and told the sick man's wife, "Don't look so unhappy, lady. Your husband will live to be 90." Now after that only he just checked Gopal, and he find it out that Gopal was on his bed. It's my having a smile on his face, and by this he checked Gopal one more time, and when he checked Gopal, well, he find it out that he is absolutely fine, and he informed his wife that now Gopal will survive for next 40 years also. I will going to hospital and assist sitting beside him in the car. Is he going to live, sir? Now, when they are leaving, when assistant and doctor was leaving, the assistant asked him whether he is going to be live or not. I will bet on it. Now again that assistant asked about Gopal's condition. So जैसे assistant ने पूछा assistant ने that whether he will survive or not, doctor said that yes, I can bet on it. अब वो 90 साल तक जिंदा रहेगा and for that I have a bet on it. He has turned the corner. How he has survived his attack will be a puzzle to me all my life, replied the doctor. Now doctor is saying that his heart, he is having a heart attack, and he even doesn't understand that how Gopal cover up with that situation. It is always a mystery for him. Okay, so overall the chapters, in a nutshell, the chapters that the doctor's word, that only when he assured the patient that he is going to survive, he will give a confidence to the patient and automatically he get recover. So this is the nutshell of the chapter. So by this we'll end up with the chapter. Okay, bye bye.